Thunderstorms. These powerhouses of weather can have a significant effect not only on fire behavior, but also on fire operations and firefighter safety. Thunderstorms affect your margin when making fire line decisions. What is margin, you might ask? Well, it's the space between you and an undesirable outcome. It's also known as decision space. Imagine a wide margin like walking on a wide bridge with handrails versus a narrow margin like walking on a tightrope. On the bridge, you have a variety of options for how to move. On the tightrope, you have very few options, and the consequences of a misstep are high. In wildland fire, our margin is narrowed when there is more uncertainty, like when you have thunderstorms that could change the weather in unanticipated ways. The goal of this video is to help you widen your margin around thunderstorms so that you can maintain that space to make safe and effective decisions. Specifically, we will discuss the impacts of thunderstorms on fire behavior and fire operations, using forecasts and visual indicators to anticipate thunderstorms, and how to consider thunderstorms when making fire line decisions. I'm sure you've all been through a thunderstorm. Maybe you felt the strong winds, seen the frequent lightning, got completely soaked by a downpour, witnessed hail, and recognized how quickly the temperature can change during a thunderstorm. Variability in thunderstorms is what makes them so difficult to account for in the wildland fire environment. So how do these changing conditions impact the margin for fire operations? Clearly, the lightning threat and shifting wind speeds and directions have a direct impact on firefighter safety. When there are multiple fire starts and fire behavior is very active, you have limited choices, and those choices are very compressed for time. Air operations can also be affected by thunderstorms. Hail of any size can damage aircraft. The gusty and erratic winds may make flying unsafe or impossible for both fixed and rotor wing aircraft. That means you might not have air attack support or water drops when you need them most. Thunderstorms are yet another reason not to rely on aircraft as a way to leave a fire area. Heavy rainfall and flooding not only affect egress for firefighting personnel, but equipment used in fire operations could also be affected. This will give you fewer options for leaving a fire area or getting equipment. Anticipating thunderstorms often starts with reading your fire weather forecast. When thunderstorms are expected, the fire weather forecast should give information on timing, duration, precipitation amounts, and potential threats such as lightning, strong winds, and heavy rain. Thunderstorms can be short-lived or can last for hours. Their movement can range from being stationary to fast-moving, and they can form as individual cells or develop into a long line of storms. If you want more specifics about today's thunderstorms, such as the storm's motion and speed, or you want updates, contact your forecast office or incident meteorologist. Let's look at how you can increase your margin by recognizing the visual indicators of thunderstorms so you can potentially anticipate their formation and some of the impacts they could have while in the field. First, though, a huge caveat. These visual indicators are not guarantees. That's why thunderstorms are so tricky. The better you are at anticipating thunderstorms, the more prepared you will be, which will help maintain your margin. The fire weather cloud chart is a great way to study some of the visual indicators of thunderstorms and other cloud structures that might inform future weather. If you see cumulus clouds growing taller than they are wide, they might be moving into the developing stage of the thunderstorm life cycle, which is a cue that your margin may be decreasing. If a thunderstorm reaches the mature stage, it will have an updraft to feed the storm and a downdraft that results from precipitation falling from the storm, and it will often have an anvil-shaped top. The mature stage is the most likely time to experience such elements as frequent lightning, heavy rain, hail, strong winds, and even tornadoes, each of which further decreases your margin. Eventually, the thunderstorm will transition to the dissipating stage as the downdraft overtakes the updraft, causing the storm to weaken. Rainfall will begin to decrease in intensity, but you can still get gusty winds and lightning during this stage, which continues to affect your margin. Don't be fooled by thinking the thunderstorm is too far away to impact you. Lightning has been known to strike well away from a thunderstorm, which could cause new ignitions or create a safety hazard for fire line personnel. Outflow winds caused by downdrafts can also impact areas many miles from the storm itself. These outflow winds have been a common denominator in many tragedy fires. Just imagine you are near a fire and see thunderstorms many miles in the distance. Your margin may be narrowing. Are you prepared to respond if the fire moves in an unexpected direction or at a faster rate of spread because of outflow winds? The life cycle of a thunderstorm can range from 15 minutes to several hours, and they can form by themselves or in clusters. You will need to remain vigilant for the entire time thunderstorms are present. If thunderstorms are in the forecast or forming nearby, remember how quickly conditions can change and consider actions to keep operations safe. Let's say you are planning a prescribed burn or burnout operation, and there is a potential for thunderstorms forecasted during the afternoon. There is time to complete the burn before the forecasted arrival of the thunderstorms, but you know that the timing may be different than the forecast, and you want to make sure your operation is at a safe place by the time they arrive. The forecasted weather is decreasing your margin for decision making. You can either choose to disengage from the operation or perhaps increase your margin in other ways, such as burning less area with wider control lines, or wait until the threat of thunderstorms is past. When on the fire line, you might have your escape to safety planned without the additional complexity of a thunderstorm, but it's always important to consider how thunderstorm activity could change that plan. Do you know when you need to disengage from operations if thunderstorms are threatening? Knowing thunderstorms might occur could help you avoid engaging in activities where you do not have enough margin to stay safe if conditions change. Be sure to discuss this with those around you to ensure you all know what actions to take. Thunderstorms are going to continue to be a common occurrence on or near wildland fires.
Primary hazards, of course, are still going to be lightning. This was breezy, as we saw a couple minutes ago, so those outflows are going to be at play today, and hopefully some precipitation out of it. So, as a reminder, there is a QR code.
Your job is to gather information and take the necessary actions to maximize your margin and keep yourself and others safe.